Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where every day I try to feature a story from anywhere in the world about how technology is transforming our world and indeed solving problems. And I think we've had guests from over 70 countries on here in over 1,400 episodes. And I know that you're listening in 165 countries. So I think we've already proved that technology works best when it brings people together. If only everyone else could see that. But today I've invited my new friend Pekka onto the show, who is the CEO of Leadfeader. And he is in Helsinki waiting to speak with us today, which is high on my bucket list of places to visit because it feels like Finland and Estonia and that entire region are thriving through the adoption of technology at the moment. So it is a definite future trip for me. But I've got to say, that trip seems a long way off at the moment as we're still locked down here in the UK. And as I speak to you, locked in my room with a microphone. But enough from me. I've got a great startup from Finland to share with you all. So buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to Helsinki so we can speak with the CEO of Leadfeader. Well, a massive warm welcome to the show. Could I begin by just asking you to tell the listeners a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Hi, Neil. So I'm Pekka Koskinen, the founder and CEO of Leadfeader. So, great to be in the show.
Fantastic. Thank you. And I am conscious there's going to be a lot of people listening that are hearing about Leadfeader for the very first time. So can you tell me a little bit more about the story about why you co-founded Leadfeader and also what problems you set out to solve?
Yeah, sure. So this is in fact my second startup in this area. I founded my first web analytics startup back in 2002 and just before Google Analytics came, and I ended up competing against Google Analytics back in those days. We were able to grow in the Nordics to be the biggest web analytics company, but I realized around 2010 that there would be a better opportunity concentrating on this on the data, like who visits your website, what companies visit your website, and what do they do there. I saw that Google Analytics wasn't doing that at all, or they were doing it poorly. And I saw that, if this data would be connected with the CRM and brought to sales guys, they would be super interested in this. So this sparked the idea that, hey, let's create a new product which isn't aimed to so much to marketing, but more to salespeople, bringing the intelligence about website visitors and customer behavior to the sales guys. So that was the original spark of this, and I then ended up selling my previous startup and started Leadfeader in 2013.
And what was it you would say that is important about your technology, and where is it best used today?
I think if we think how salespeople are doing their work, currently the data in CRMs it's still pretty much the data that the salespeople have inputted there themselves. At the same time, there's tons of different marketing technology currently on the customers' websites that are collecting behavioral data. And what we are seeing is that this data is not reaching the salespeople. And where we concentrate, or where we started from, was identifying, based on the IP address, identifying the website visitors. So typically, 98% of website visitors go totally unknown. Only a few percent leave their contact details on the website. So we created a tool that reveals which companies these are, and then brings that data to the salespeople. And so why the technology is important is that it gives more signals to salespeople who are interested right now in the company's product and who should they call now and with what kind of pitch, like what pages did they visit, what they know, what they didn't go to, and this all of this gives salespeople more effectiveness because they can target better who to contact. And this technology is mostly used in lead generation, but more and more we are seeing also key account managers, for example, using the technology to track their existing customers. Like what does my customers currently search from our website? What do they do there? And again, this is typically information that salespeople are not aware of, and that can help them then the account managers to serve their clients better.
And can you tell me a little bit more about your product and how you see the lead generation problem a little bit differently from others in the space? Because that's one of the reasons I invited you on the podcast today, because one of the things that really shines out from the outside looking in at the kind of thing that you're doing is that different approach. Was that intentional?
Yeah, it's true. Like there's tons of companies that are generating leads, and even like many companies that are saying that we turn your website visitors into sales leads. It can be a live chat tool, it can be a marketing automation tool, or it can be a tool like ours that identifies anonymous website visitors. All of us, we are kind of like promising the same thing, but doing it differently. And then there's also like other kinds of like prospecting tools like Sales Navigator from LinkedIn. And so how I'm seeing these different kinds of lead generation tools, they are like all aiming to the same thing, but doing it differently. And I see them more like complementing each other. So the best customers, they are tracking the anonymous website visitors. They are having a live chat to convert visitors. They are having web forms. They are having marketing automation tools on the website. So I see these more kind of complementing each other. Then if we compare us to our direct competitors that are doing like exactly the same that we are doing, what differentiates us there is we integrate much better and much more deeply into the tech stack of the customer, because it's very different if the visitor is your current client or it's a new prospect, or have we already talked with this client. So all of these affect how well it's qualified and what should be done for this. Like should we create a new opportunity out of this to the CRM or not, for example. So I see that through integrations we differentiate us quite a lot from the competition.
And I think we should also highlight that Leadfeader leans on machine learning to help with qualifying the right accounts. So for any business leaders or decision makers listening, can you tell me a little bit more about how companies can lean on machine learning to help fuel those lead generation efforts? Yeah,
so now when there's more and more behavioral data collected in many tools, it would be really difficult to manually process all of that. Typically, companies are using maybe like 5-6 different marketing tools plus the CRM, and all of these are like collecting their own data. And it would be really important to, first of all, get all of that data in one place. Either like sometimes it's the CRM, or now we are seeing the rise of customer data platforms. So like that's kind of like the first step, getting like all of the data in one place. And after that, you can use machine learning to start identifying behavior that then corresponds or leads to sales, for example, in the CRM, and start to like identify what kind of things correlate. It's not a like easy task to do, and there's not that many out of the shelf products for this. Maybe like Salesforce's Einstein is maybe the furthest there, so they are doing already a pretty good job here to get all the data inside Salesforce platform and using machine learning there. But then when we come out of the Salesforce ecosystem, it's still like hard. Some companies are doing their own data warehouses, getting all the data there, and then trying to use machine learning to identify patterns. But I see this is something that will be more important all the time, because the amount of data is increasing all the time. But there's not yet real easy solutions how to in fact do this. And this is one thing that we are also aiming for. How could we make this even more easy for our customers? And we are already using machine learning, but I know that there's tons of things that we can still improve in that to even use it more.
And what type of companies are using Leadfeader, and who within those companies are your main users? Just to help any business leaders understand.
Sure. So we have quite different kinds of customers, varying from one person companies to companies with tens of thousands of employees. What is common to these is that they are all B2B. They typically are from Europe and US, and we are serving their marketing and sales people. So how typically things happen is that the marketing people find us and implement Leadfeader on their website, because the website is typically the domain of the marketers. But then when it comes to really using the end data that we provide, then it's the sales people. So typically marketers implement Leadfeader, and then they invite their sales users to use it, and then it's actually the sales people that then identify the leads and then engage with those.
And you also had a recent announcement about powering a new feature with Pipedrive CRM for web visitors. So can you tell me more about that and what it means for Pipedrive customers? Yeah,
this is a really exciting thing that we developed during this year. Just a little background. So we've had the Pipedrive, basic Pipedrive integration for 3 years already, and that integration became one of the most used feature or third-party feature add-on in Pipedrive Marketplace, and that sparked the discussion with them that should we do something more intelligent even. And also what is happening is that CRMs are coming towards these marketing platforms. So CRMs have typically been only for salespeople, but as I mentioned, there's a lot of engagement happening on the website and email marketing tools and live chats that the salespeople are not aware of. And what CRMs now are looking into is expanding into that space, including the lead generation features that have previously been outside of their platform. And this is exactly what Pipedrive was doing. So they also launched several other tools for lead generation. There's the live chat, the chatbot, there's a prospector, there's web forms, and then this web visitors is one of these tools that they introduced. And what this means for Pipedrive customers is that now salespeople have the visibility what's happening on the website. Do my customers visit there? What are they doing? And this brings intelligence to the sales guys, so they can know when to engage and with what kind of messaging. For example, if they send out a quote and they don't see any reaction for 2 weeks, and then they see the customer coming back to the website, then that's a signal that, now it might be a good time to call them. Or if they are seeing a really interesting, bigger company visiting the website many times, they can identify it from the web visitors add-on and then create deals that they then take forward. So one of the key things that is important for CRMs is that there's all the time new leads coming there, semi-automatically. nothing's worse than an empty CRM or static CRM when nothing happens. And what we are doing is automatically bringing the Pipedrive customers leads that they then can engage with. So I think at the end of the day, I hope it means more leads and more sales.
And technology does need to constantly evolve with customers' needs and problems. And I think that's something that we've seen more than ever this year, because the average need or problem that a customer was looking for in January this year is completely different to now. So what is Leadfeader doing to stay relevant in 2021 and beyond?
Yeah, we are seeing that the customer needs are evolving, and also the tech stack that the customers are using is evolving all the time. So we are all the time naturally discussing with customers what kind of tools they are using and how could we make Leadfeader work even better with the other tools. And we are building all the time more integrations to the tools that we see. There's live chats and email marketing automation tools, and other third-party databases we build integrations to. So that's one part of it, and then where we are actively looking into is all kinds of automation that can happen, where we, for example, push new leads to the CRM, email marketing tools, or personalize the website based on the customer's situation. But I think the main thing is to stay close to the customers and then run pilots with them. So yeah, it's a constant evolution and discussion going on.
And you're speaking to me in Helsinki today, where I know there's a vibrant tech startup scene, and you yourself have been on an incredible journey. So for anyone listening, wherever they are in the world, or just at the beginning of their own startup journey, is there any advice that you would offer them? There's. I think what was really important in the beginning was that we used our own tool quite a lot in the beginning, and really knew the customer need inside out when we started the company. But then when it comes to building a startup, it needs to go in phases. So the first year, for example, when we started Leadfeader, we just quickly created an MVP that we put out there, and it was free to use. And the only thing we wanted was to get feedback. Is there a real need that this solves, and do we solve it? And then looked at the metrics. So as long as we saw good traction metrics that people were coming back to the product on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, we knew that, okay, this is something valuable for the customers. And also when we interviewed them, that became obvious. And then after that, the second step was creating the monetization model on top of that, and making sure that people are happy to pay from month to month and not churning. And then the third step is creating the scaling or the sales model. So what is the scalable and profitable way of distributing this? And that includes lots of testing. We've tested many different channels and then checked from the data what is working and what is not. So where do we get best bang for buck for the investments we make? But I think the most important thing is to go in these phases. So what I'm seeing, what's the most typical reason for failure is premature scaling. So before startups have made sure that they have the product market fit, they've been already trying to scale it, and typically companies end up spending huge amounts in paid marketing, and then seeing that people are not converting, or if they are converting to paid customers, then they are churning in a few months or within a year. So it's not profitable in the long term. So I would say that going in phases, building the foundations for the growth first,
and then looking at the data very carefully that you have the product market fit and the scaling, the unit economics work for the channels you are aiming for. And after that, you are ready to go to the A-round investors and ask for more money to scale the company. So I think that's maybe the one of the advices. Another is hire really good people. So at the end of the game, that's the most important thing. So a really good team can make even an average idea work well, but then if you have not a good team, they will totally mess up like any idea. So that's very, very important. And always I tend to overhire. So if I want to have a sales guy, I'm always looking for people that can grow to the next stage, or whatever role it is. If it's a developer or a marketer, I'm looking for people that have the not just do the actual role that we are now looking for, but that could grow with the company to the next stage.
Fantastic advice. Well, I've loved chatting with you today. I love to stay in touch with you. Hopefully meet in person, have a cold beer in Helsinki one day. But before I do let you go, can I set you point the listeners in the right direction of your website, social channels, or how they can reach and contact your team if they've got any questions about anything we talked about today? Yeah,
so please come to our website, leadfeeder.com, and if you are interested in the Leadfeeder product, we offer a 2-week free trial. So have a look there yourself. We are also in Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, obviously, and also we have a chat on the website that serves with any questions. And if there's anything you would like to ask from me, then you can reach me at pekka.koskinen@leadfeeder.com.
Well, I love chatting with you. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed is hearing about your startup story and what got you to where you are now, but also how you're evolving and how you've shared that vision for lead generation technology, which does include using AI to pinpoint that exact moment that the journey for the salesperson to engage based on the purchase intent of the prospect. Incredibly cool. But more than anything, just a big thank you for coming on here today.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. It was great to be here.
Pekka is a great guy and incredibly humble. And for those reasons alone, I feel I must point out that Leadfeeder has experienced 70% year-on-year growth. So they've got to be doing something right. And the fact that Pipedrive selected and integrated Leadfeeder's AI-powered automation technology as a key component to Pipedrive's new lead generation and management tool is incredibly cool too. But this is the point where I want to put the virtual microphone over to you, wherever you're listening in the world. Today we've been speaking to Pekka in Helsinki, but I want to take this podcast to where you live, wherever you are in the world. I'm convinced that technology, startup scenes, all these kind of stories, real life stories, need to be shared. And that's why I built this platform 5 years ago. So I'd love to bring this podcast to your town, help put you and your business and your region on the map too. So please email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com. My website is techblogwriter.co.uk, where you'll find over 1,400 interviews of the Tech Talks Daily Show. You'll also find links to my show with Citrix, Tech Fusion, and my show with Netgear, Switched On Thinking, and also how you can work with me. So there's a lot to keep you quiet there. If not, have no fear. I would cordially invite you back here tomorrow for another guest where we'll talk about how technology is changing the world or changing their region, and hopefully put your town on the map too. How does that sound? Whew, glad you said that. So thank you for listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.